Hello students, welcome back to our lecture for the paper CHO 5403, that is the biomolecules, organic chemistry of drug design and chiral drugs. Friends, in this lecture we will discuss about determination of amino acid sequence in proteins or in a peptide. So determining the primary structure of peptide or protein, it consists of three main steps. First one is the number and kind of amino acid units in the primary structure must be determined. Okay. Then next step is the second step is the amino acids at the ends of the chains are identified. And the third step is the sequence of the component amino acid. That means except the side chain or I will say end, we need to determine the other component amino acid in the chain to know the complete structure or sequence of the any peptide. So again I repeat, the first step is to determine the number and kind of amino acid units in the primary structure of the peptide. Second step is the amino acids at the ends of the chain are identified. And the third is the sequence of the component amino acid is determined by different types of methods. So let's see one by one. First, we will see first step, that is we need to search the number and the component of the primary structure. So friends, the acid hydrolysis is used to determine composition for the that typical peptide. So complete acid hydrolysis of that peptide into component amino acid is carried out, and that mixture is identified by ion exchange chromatography. As you can see here, this is the one peptide unit, and after hydrolysis with 6 molar SCl, it is fragmented in different types of primary or basic units of the amino acids. But friends, this method have the limitation, or I will say this procedure is a bit complicated because tryptophan is destroyed under the acidic condition. So if we have the tryptophan, there will be a total mess because it is going to destroyed or decomposed in the acidic condition. Secondly, the aspargine and glutamine are converted into aspartic and glutamic acid respectively. That means there is a uh, conversion of aspargine to aspartic acid and glutamine to glutamic acid. This will cause confusion for the determining the amino acid sequence. So friends, another methods are used for the complete hydrolysis of the peptide, and this method of acid hydrolysis is used to calculate the number and basic component of the peptide. Now second step is a determination of end terminal amino acid, or I will say second step is determining the ends of the or the amino acid present at the ends of that chain. So determination can be made by treatment of the peptide with 2,4-dinitrofluorobenzene. Okay, this is a 2,4-dinitrofluorobenzene. Very simple structure. Now friends, this is very reactive in nucleophilic displacement with the amines. That means if I have NH2 group, it will there will be a nucleophilic substitution with the fluorine, and this NH2 will attach to the benzene ring and fluorine will be substituted or replaced. So friends, it is not reactive with the amides, so it is very useful to carry out the identification of N terminal amino acids. Okay, the product that is N 2,4-dinitrophenyl derivative of that peptide, which after hydrolysis with the amide linkage will produce this 2,4-dinitrophenyl amino acid. Okay, that means we have this 2,4-dinitrophenyl extra to the our amino acid. So after hydrolysis of course, and this is how we can determine which type of amino acid is attached to this 2,4-dinitrophenyl derivative. So this is how we can understood the sequence of amino acid, that is N-terminal amino acid. So friends, this method have a bit disadvantage that the entire peptide must be destroyed in order to identify the one N-terminal amino acid. So this is the disadvantage of this method by using 2,4-dinitrofluorobenzene. So what other methods are used to identify the N-terminal amino acids? The second method is simple. Instead of using 2,4-dinitrofluorobenzene, we are using diacetyl chloride. This is a diacetyl chloride which makes or which forms sulfonamides with this peptide unit. Again, similarly, like 2,4-dinitrobenzene derivative, this is hydrolyzed and we get this substituted N-terminal amino acid, and this is how we can determine which type of amino acid is attached as a N-terminal to that typical peptide sequence. Okay, so this is the second method, but again this method have similar disadvantage that the total peptide is destroyed in the process. So the most powerful and the most commonly used method for the sequencing of a peptide from N-terminal end is the Edman degradation. Okay, this is the Edman degradation in which phenyl isocyanide is reacted with the N-terminal of that amino acid in a mild basic condition. So what happens after the treatment? If we have the pH more than 7, that is a basic condition, this NH2 will attack on the carbon of phenyl isocyanide and we get this kind of structure. But friends, once we acidify this structure, there is a cyclization, and after cyclization, that is in the acidic condition, now pH is below 7, that is means acidic pH. So in acidic pH, this is cyclized, NH will attack over here and we get the peptide displaced from this total intermediate, and we get the cyclic intermediate, or that is called as a thiohydrontine. So this is a thiohydrontine, and this thiohydrontine we will is helpful for us to determine which amino acid is attached to this as a N-terminal amino acid. Okay, so this is the shaded part consists of the element of N-terminal amino acid. So this method is very useful because we can determine total amino acid sequence with this method, because the separated peptide, this peptide have again another N-terminal amino acid, and this peptide will again react with the another molecule of phenyl isocyanide. Again we get the hydrontine and so on. So we can easily determine the peptide sequence with the Edman degradation. So this is very powerful method for the determining the sequence of peptide or a sequence of amino acid in a peptide or protein. So this is a very nice flow chart or a nice presentation of Edman degradation. So friends, for example, if we have this type of N-terminal amino acid having glycine at the N-terminal, and after that the sequence is glycine, tyrosine, histidine and alanine and so on. So what we will do in Edman degradation, we will treat this amino acid or peptide with the phenyl isocyanide. This will react with the glycine NH2 and forms the hydrontine like this. Now you can see this is a COCH2 NH2. This is nothing but glycine, and the other part is remain as the N-terminus of tyrosine. Now the second molecule of phenyl isocyanide will react with the NH2 of tyrosine, and here you can see that this tyrosine part will be removed from that peptide and we will get histidine as a N-terminal amino acid in that peptide sequence. The next part, the next reagent, or I will say next molecule of phenyl isocyanide reacts with the N-terminal of histidine. We get histidine as the next derivative of hydrontine and so on. This is how we can easily determine the peptide sequence of any protein or peptide by using Edman degradation, that is using the phenyl isocyanide as a reagent and hadantine, thiohadantine as a product. So this is how we can determine the N-terminus amino acids. Now friends, let's see how we can determine the C-terminal. Okay, this is a mistake over here. It should be C-terminal amino acid. So what we are now looking, we are looking for the C-terminal amino acids. Okay, so C-terminal amino acid, this is a very complicated method, or there is no such a reagent that can easily determine the identify the C-terminal amino acid, but the enzyme called as carboxypeptidase A, this A carboxypeptidase A catalyze the hydrolysis of the peptide bond connecting the amino acids with the terminal carboxyl groups. Okay, this what this carboxypeptidase do? This catalyze the hydrolysis of the peptide bond connecting the amino acids with the terminal carboxyl group to the rest of the peptide. Okay, so thus the amino acids at the carboxylic end will be removed one by one through the action of this enzyme. So you can see here, this is a tyrosine. If we treated it with the carboxypeptidase, now this tyrosine derivative is removed. This is how we the get to know the C-terminal amino acid which is present in that peptide sequence. This is how one by one we can remove the C-terminal amino acids and we can identify the sequence. Thus the sequence of this is example, this above example, and this is explanation. So if we have peptide and then sequence like serine, leucine and tyrosine, then we can identify this order and we get the amino acids or C-terminal amino acid in this sequence. First we get the tyrosine, that is a C-terminal, then again leucine, and finally the serine. This is how we are going to identify the C-terminal amino acid sequence. Now friends, I am referring these two books for this kind of video preparation or PPT presentation. So first reference book is Chemistry of Natural Product by Vicky Aluwalia, and the second is Organic Chemistry by John McMurray. So if you guys have any question regarding determination of amino acid sequence or Edman degradation, please feel free to ask me. Thank you very much.